What's up, bottom feeders? Paupergeddon Lucca is doing just like the second sun. It's approaching, but next week I've got an IPT, an International Pauper Tour. And when it comes to Pauper, it's the second most important tournament because with IPT you can win points to go up in the chart, you can win an invite to the Invitational, you can even win buys for the Paupergeddon sometimes. So I need to rise to the top. And I tried the spy deck, I think it's a fine deck, but I don't want to be destroyed by blue decks. So I need to prepare something different that doesn't die to blue decks, because if I feel that the metagame is blue heavy, I need to change. And which deck can do that? Before we start, thank you to my sponsor MTG Friends. They have the cooler tokens, and if you go on MTGChallengeFriends.com, you can use my affiliate code GiorgioCombo with all capital letters for a 5% discount. Do that. You know what? Maybe I changed my mind. Maybe you should... No. You should not subscribe to my channel. Don't do that, please. And don't like the video for any reason. Thank you. Appreciate that. So, why this deck? Well, first of all, I love this deck because I reached my second Paupergeddon final with basically this deck. Also, I think this deck can be good. Before the bannings, it has been a very good deck, I think. And now a Natural Predator, which was the Glee deck, it's out of contention. So maybe it's time to shine. Also, I need a deck that is capable of beating the blue decks, because the spy deck is not. And if I happen to find myself in a situation in which many blue tempo decks are prevalent in my metagame, I need to have a weapon of choice. There's no point in playing another deck with the same matchups as the spy deck. And this is different because it preys on the blue decks and it should lose to the combo decks, and it should be good versus the most played deck in the format. Oh, what happened? Okay, my connection broke, but it should be good into Jund and Burn, because every deck you play right now should be good into those decks, or it's not a playable deck, I think. First of all, let's break down this deck. This is not a mid-range deck, don't get fooled, this is an aggro deck. You want to kill your opponent by turn 5, sometimes turn 4, but it's rare. 5, maybe 6. And this is also the same deck as Ponza. They are the same deck, because when you look at this deck, this is just half mana and ramp and half bombs and creatures. And you can pack up to 8 interaction spells. Land destruction spells are just one form of interaction, but it's not the only one. Before the banning, I played 4 Eldrazi Repurposer and 4 Ram True as my kinda interaction spells. Why? Because Repurposer is not a very good creature on its own, and I don't ramp to play a 3/3, but it was an interaction spell of sort versus the Cool Dota deck, because blocking in the early turns was very important, and also it was very important to ramp a little bit more. And of course, Ramp Through was the best interaction spell for Glee, which was clearly the best deck in the format, and for the Krark-Clan Shaman Toxin Analysis combo. Now, I don't think we need that kind of interaction anymore, and I don't think we need the land destruction spells either. Why? Because the land destruction spells are good versus Tide and Tron and Familiars and Gates. I don't think they are enough of the metagame to justify 8 otherwise bad cards in the deck. Because this deck can play 8 interaction spells, but only if they are good ones. Since you don't have a real card draw engine, you cannot afford to have these many draws. So, which interaction spells are we playing today? Well, I count Sagu Wildling and Stormshriek as interactions. Why? Well, I think right now you should be able to beat the burn decks and Jund. And Jund, it's really only a problem when it goes Krark-Clan Shaman plus Toxin Analysis. They don't play a lot of removal spells. So if you play flying creatures, they fly over the Krark-Clan Shaman, and I think that could be good. Yeah, of course, they have Chrysalis to block, but if I go for a Wildling and I put an Hydra or a Bannerhide Krushok on it, then I think I can ride that to victory. Or at least, that is the plan. Also, Wildling gains some life, and that's good, because it's an interaction versus the burn decks. Now the burn decks doesn't attack with creatures that much, they burn you a lot more. So gaining life, it's better than blocking right now. And in general, having more creatures is better, because if you play cards like Ram True, Vines of Wastewood, Thermokarst in the main deck, once they are good, they are really good. But when they are bad, they do nothing. While a creature is always a creature. Yeah, I know it's not the best to cast a 5 mana 3/3 with haste, but it's better than nothing. Also, Stormshriek Feral kinda help you when you flood out, which is a problem of this deck. Why? Because you can Omen and discard one dead card and draw 2 fresh cards. And I think that this can be good. As I said, I think it's reasonable to try this deck, because if we want to go into a metagame which has not many blue decks but just midrange decks and barn decks and stuff like that, I think Spy is a very good choice. But we should prepare for something different, and this deck should be good into the blue tempo decks, but this deck is bad into the combo decks, Tide for example. And that's why we have the land destruction spells in the sideboard, which are good versus Tron and Aura and Dredge and Fog, a lot of decks. And we have Weather the Storm, because we really need to beat Burn now, because it's everywhere. And we have 2 Breath Weapon and 2 Run Through. Run Through, I think it's an additional answer to the Krark-Clan Shaman combo. And it's also fine outside of that. We could play something like a Seal of Fire, but that's a very bad card when they don't draw the combo. While Run Through, it's very good, because it can kill Chrysalis, for example, or just be a giant fireball. Breath Weapon, it's good versus Mono Red to complement the Weather the Storm, because they still have some creatures, and it's fine versus Fae and Elves and a lot of stuff. I think it's a reasonable deck. Let's see if it's good as I think it is. Quick reminder, I'm writing a guide about 5-land Spy and 6-land Spy. It will contain everything you need to know about the deck. If you're interested in that, check that out. I'm almost done, and with the guide you will get free updates until after Paupergeddon, because a new set is gonna release soon and I think it's gonna be a game changer for the deck. And you will also get a cool software that you can run on your computer or your mobile, and there's a list of cards. You choose 15 cards and the sideboard sheet will update. It will tell you the best sideboard strategy for every matchup with the 15 cards you decided. Welcome to match number 1, and we have an interesting hand, because we are on the draw and we have 2 turns to draw any mana producing card, and this hand is very good. I think I'm gonna keep, because I think this is a deck that doesn't mulligan all that well, and also because we have like 33, 34 cards which are mana, so I'm gonna keep. Okay, this seems like Affinity to me, or maybe Jund Wildfire. So we are gonna prove if the flying creatures are good versus Krark-Clan Shaman, and how nice, this is a forest. So let's go. I told you, I'm a genius. This was a keep. No, I'm just kidding. There's no fault in mulliganing that kind of hand, but I think it's a keep. Okay, so here we have to discard a card, and I'm not gonna discard Jewel Thief because that's my turn to play and my red mana. I'm not discarding Nyxborn Hydra because it's the best card in the game. I am not discarding the flying creature because I want to beat the stupid shaman. And I don't know, there's an argument for discarding this one because it has kind of flashback. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that because my plan is turn 2 Jewel Thief into turn 3 Chrysalis and turn 4 Hydra. Yeah, okay, that's reasonable. And here we're gonna draw Utopia Sprawl, Anyone? Utopia Sprawl? I call you? Yeah, this is bad because yeah, it's basically the worst card in the deck to draw this turn. And we cannot cast the Arbor Elf with the treasure because we don't have red mana if we do that. If this was an Utopia Sprawl, I would have played the Arbor Elf, but it is not, so I'm gonna discard the Arbor Elf. And it's not nice to double refurbish familiar your opponent. Okay, so this is Jund. Okay, I think this is... I would have probably destroyed the forest with Wild Grow. And you see, that's another reason not to mulligan, because sometimes you mulligan and they double familiar you, and that's very bad. And yeah, I think we are... Yeah, let's attack before we do anything else. And another Arbor Elf, it's very bad because every other card is good, and that's the only bad card, and we drew 2 in a row, but it's fine. Okay, so next turn we are gonna Hydra, unless we draw a red mana. In that case we are gonna Stormshriek Feral with the intent to Nyxborn Hydra the turn after. Okay, they have 2 cards in hand, and if none of them... Oh, okay, so I don't think they have a removal spell, because they clearly would have destroyed the Chrysalis and attacked with the familiars, I think. And now yeah, we could Hydra this turn, or we could chill and Malevolent Rumble and Elf to cast a giant Hydra next turn, and I kind of like that, so let's do that. Okay, there's no point in keeping the red card with no red mana, so I think Mountain, it's what I'm gonna take. And here we could play the Stormshriek Feral, but I think I'm gonna go for the Arbor Elf. They have 2 cards in hand, and even if they have got Krark-Clan Shaman, if they don't have Toxin Analysis, it's fine on this board, because the Chrysalis is gonna survive, and then I'm gonna Hydra the Chrysalis. And I mean, it's not the worst. It's bad if they start chaining fanatical offerings one into another, but let's see. Okay, so they have 4 cards in hand, which is less good than 3. Okay, this is fine, unless they go for another dispute. Yeah, and they have the Krark-Clan Shaman. I think they should probably use the Shaman for 1. Yeah, in fact. Oh, they are gonna go for the old and forbidden technology, so they have got a Pulse of Murasa on top of the deck. And I think this probably means they don't have Toxin Analysis in the main deck. Yeah, you can draw a card, and okay, I'm gonna use my resources on the Chrysalis. I think they drew a very good set of cards for this spot, but that's a very good deck, so that can happen sometimes. Yeah, okay, so what if I go for Chrysalis? They have a Pulse of Murasa in hand. If I go for Chrysalis, they are just gonna Krark-Clan Shaman again for 1 and destroy the little pieces. But I think it's fine, because my Chrysalis is gonna go bigger. And what if I attack? This is 7-8, and they have 4-5-8. They block with everything, and then they Blood Fountain the creatures back. No, so it's not a good attack. Let's see if they decide to go for the Shaman. I think they should, but I also think it's fine. And they cast another Chrysalis. Yeah. I think this is fine as long as they don't have a removal spell. Because with the Hydra, I can grow my Chrysalis. And yeah, this has been very, very unlucky. Because drawing 2 Arbor Elves in a row in that spot was basically skipping 2 draw steps. And here we are. Okay, so they're gonna go for the Krark-Clan Shaman. And I think... No, I think this is getting very bad now. But let's see. Yeah. Okay. And they go for the Shaman. Okay. And yeah, so I sacrifice. I don't think we're gonna win this game now. But we can try. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the same again. And let's see. And they probably should Krark-Clan Shaman now, yeah. Right. Good play by them. Yeah, I don't think we can attack. It doesn't make sense, but next turn we're gonna drop an Hydra on a bigger Chrysalis and start attacking and see what happens. I think at this point it's probably correct to... yeah, another one, okay, right. Yeah. And I'm gonna discard the dragon. And another one, of course. Yeah, forest. Okay, so if this gets +2, it becomes 12, 6, 10, 12. Basically, I trade the Chrysalis for 2 Chrysalis, and then they get those back with the fountain. Okay, with that. Okay, so for game 2, I think we are gonna play some run through, which is an answer to the Krark-Clan Shaman, but also the Krark-Clan Shaman Toxin Analysis combo, but also a way to kill a Chrysalis. And I think we can cut to Bannerhide Krushok because it's fine, but it's not one of the best cards in the deck. I don't wanna cut the Flyers because I wanna try if they are good as I think they are with a fine hand, and I think this is a reasonable keep, and let's see what happens. Okay, let's go. Obviously red, and your turn. Okay, since I have another land, there's no point in using the Sagu Wildling, and also I just cast this one before I decide what to go for, and obviously I need creature, so Chrysalis it is. And okay, it's a turn 3 Chrysalis and a turn 4 Flyer. I think it's reasonable. Let's see what happens next. Of course, there's no way they don't have a turn 2 Refurbished Familiar in a 10 artifact lands deck, of course. And okay, so yeah, we could not play land just in case they have another Refurbished Familiar, but I don't think skipping a land drop it's good in this stage of the game. So if they have another one, we are gonna discard a creature and that's it. Okay, go. And this is where an Hydra would be incredibly good. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so Wildling is worse than the Feral, so I'm not discarding the Feral. We have to decide if we wanna keep Run Through or the Sagu Wildling. I think Run Through is a better card, but we could flood out if we start discarding creatures. But yeah, I think we have to eye roll a little bit, because again they had kind of the perfect start again, so I think we have to be a little lucky now. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so maybe we go all in. We play Utopia Sprawl on a land, and we cast the dragon with the forest and with the Sprawl up. We attack with everything. If they double block the dragon, we use Ram Through to kill one of the blockers so that the dragon survive. And then, yeah, I think that's reasonable. And if they have another rat, well, of course. And if they don't block, we can pump the feral. And this is good because the fact that this creature can be pumped means it's not obvious we have a combat trick in hand. Because maybe we just have in mind the plan to pump the feral. Okay. Let's go. 2 mana, Wildfire, okay. Now I think it's reasonable to not go after my lands because they are short on mana. So I think this time it's right to go for the ramp. And Lambas, okay, that's fine. Since they don't play Snuff Out anymore, I think we have the cost is clear now to just attack and try to put them in a bad spot. Hydra is still very good. Feral is... Yeah, what if we go for the feral? We then attack with everything, and that's 11, so they have to block, and they should probably double block on a feral, because once they block one of the ferals with the familiar, at that point blocking with a second familiar is just trading a familiar for a feral, which is a better card once it's on the battlefield. So yeah, I think it's reasonable. And I think this card is being fine because Haste came up, the pump ability came up, and now I feel safe because if they go for Shaman, I'm not dead. 5/8, okay. So they go to 3. We have a remove spells in hand. I think this is a fine spot because Krark-Clan Shaman doesn't save them. Krark-Clan Shaman plus a blocker doesn't do it. Okay, this is fine. If they crack the fountain, they are dead. Chrysalis, and okay. Okay. So we don't win this turn unless they... Yeah, we cast this one. So now I have to do this. Do this. Do this. Yeah, it's easier than I thought. And that's it. GiorgioCombo wins. It seems so. And Giorgio... Oh no, because they have... Oh yeah, because they have Lambas. Oh yeah, okay, so they go to 1. And it's still fine, because they are at 1 and they are facing 2 little attackers. One of them has flying. And they probably should go for the double familiar. Crack the fountain, play double familiar and double block. And they draw 2 cards. And they could win this game. Obviously, it depends on what I draw. And I think this game, it's the proof that Ram Through is fine, because not only it's a good response to the Krark-Clan Shaman, but it's also fine outside of that spot. While if you play cards like Seal of Fire, for example, it's a better answer to the Krark-Clan Shaman, but it's a worse card overall. And I think having an overall better card, it's good. Okay, just one familiar. Okay, so they kept one. They took one familiar and the Chrysalis, and this means they probably have some way to survive. So another removal spell, land plus removal spell, or blocker of some kind. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, of course. So that's fine, but we draw nothing. And since we don't have we don't have a Krushok in the graveyard, there's no point in playing the growth. We just attack, they double jump, and let's see what happened. So they have a Chrysalis in hand, which alone blocks on my board for 1 turn and kills the dragon. So it's very, very good. Yeah. Here's the Chrysalis. Okay. They don't have another Chrysalis because they tapped in such a way that they cannot cast another one. And they probably have a removal spell at this point because they kept black mana up, or a dispute effect maybe. Okay, let's see. Hydra does it, while Grow obviously doesn't. I'm not even sure if it's correct to attack, because if I do, I'm basically trading the Feral for the Chrysalis. And yeah, at least if they play another Chrysalis next turn, it's not bigger than mine, because I force them to use some spawn tokens now. Yeah, I think it's reasonable, so I'm gonna attack with everything. And again, I think we drew poorly this game, because basically we drew a lot of wild growths and lands one after another, while basically any creatures would have done it. But I think this is part of this deck weaknesses, and yeah, they're gonna block, I think. Okay. And we have to pump, because I don't want the Chrysalis to survive, of course. Okay. Yeah, they discard the land, and we are not favored, I think, right now. But there are some very good draws we can have. Let's see. Hydra, for example, it's very, very good right now. Other creatures are fine. Initiative is fine. But also they have disputes. They didn't draw any disputes, so there's that. And they don't attack, I think. Yeah, of course. And this time we yeah, it's better to play this one, because if we draw Hydra we can have a bigger Hydra, but now we pass. Oh no, we attack. And I think they just jump. And they use the Lambas, I think. Yeah, of course. Okay, so they have 3 cards in hand. I have basically nothing. Pulse of Murasa. Yeah. And we are probably dead now. They're gonna cast a giant Hydra. Right. And it's a good play to not put that on the Chrysalis, because yeah, let's play the Chrysalis and let's see what happens. And okay, so having the spawns out means any Hydra, it it's basically an aced creature. But they are at 10 life now, so there's that. But if we draw Hydra, we go for a giant Hydra on the Chrysalis, and I think that could win the game. Okay. Shaman, it's fine. They don't attack now, I think. Okay. So, if I block with a big Chrysalis and sack the spawn tokens, they are gonna use the Krark-Clan Shaman in response to the second one, and they basically are left with an Hydra on an empty board. I can just take. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take. Because I'm not dead even with another Hydra attack. And they have 0 cards in hand. They can draw 1 card with a Krark-Clan Shaman, but... Okay, so they have got 7 artifacts. So if I go for the first spawn, when I go for the second one, they can Krark-Clan Shaman everything, and the Hydra survives. And this is something to keep in mind. Okay. And of course we draw another land, so we cannot attack, because if we do attack, they just block and use the Krark-Clan Shaman to clear my board. No, I think, okay, so if we attack with the bigger Chrysalis, they are gonna, if they block with this one, it dies and it's fine. If they block with a Krark-Clan Shaman, it dies and it's fine. I cannot attack with both creatures or I dies, because they block here, use the Shaman and kill me on the swing back. So I'm gonna attack with a bigger Chrysalis. And they're gonna jump, I think. Okay, they take it. Yeah, I'm gonna take it, I guess. Okay, so if I take it, I go to 2. Next turn I have to win, because I clearly die on the following turn. And I'm gonna attack with both creatures, they're gonna block. Yeah, I need to draw something. But there's no point in blocking, so yeah, okay, go to 2. And you know, deck, this could be a very nice spot to give me an Hydra. Or the worst creature in the deck, it's also fine. And yeah, okay, we are dead. Let's go to the next match. Okay, so welcome to match number 2, and this is a very good hand, I think. And you see, as I said in the intro, playing creatures in place of spells, it's fine, because sometimes you draw a hand like this, and having a creature is better than having Ram Through, for example. Okay, this is the 4 mana on turn 2 hand. Let's see if everything goes according to plan. Actually, there's a cool trick we can do, because we have a lot of mana and we have nothing to do with all this mana, and we need to resolve the Utopia Sprawl. But even if we go for Forest and the Auras, we can't generate 5 mana this turn, so there's no way we can cast a creature right now. So we are fine if they counter Wild Growth, because then we deploy the other 2 enchantments. So I'm gonna play my enchantment, the first one, before I play land, because if they have Spell Pierce or anything like that, they're gonna counter the Wild Growth, I think. Okay, so it resolved. And now I'm gonna use this one for red, and I don't think I'm gonna play Wild Growth, because I can discard that one with the Feral, and I think that's actually fine. No, but okay, so next turn we are gonna have 3, 6, 7 mana. So if I do it this turn, they can Spell Pierce me, Next turn I can go for the flash out and then Wildling, and I play around. Yeah, but I don't care. If they have it, they have it. Okay, very good. Lorien revealed for an island. The island has been successfully revealed, and this is our probably our worst matchup. But our end is good. Let's see if we can raise 7 mana. Yeah. I keep red mana because if I find another Chrysalis with this Malevolent Rumble, I'm for sure gonna play it. Yeah, fine. Okay, so it's 12 damage on turn 2. No, sorry, turn 3. Is that 2 turn clock? They have puppetry though. They can tap us down. Okay. And on our next turn, unless we draw something very good, we are gonna go for the Wildling and use the Reinforce ability, because we wanna just split the damage, because if everything goes, if we just have 2 creatures out, they can tap them down, and I wanna do that. Lotus Petal, wow. Okay, this is unexpected. Okay, 7-9 mana. We could also, yeah, if we use Sprawl, we have 8 mana, 10 mana. Okay, as I said, yeah, the better thing to do here is to do like this. 8 mana, reinforce on a token, we scavenge on the token, and we attack. Okay, can you kill me? Let me see. I'm eager to see the tide coming for me and drowning me. Yeah, I died. So, yeah, there's some waiting to be doing. Alright, here we are. I skipped that because there's no point in letting you see this. And here comes the streams. Okay. So, for game 2, we are gonna bring in the land destruction spells, and hope we can fade the turn 4 kill again. Yeah, we are gonna side out the Feral because they are a late game card, and I think the Wildling because we have a lot of turn 3 plays, and this is also a ramp spell, so we don't need the land searching ability of the Sagu Wildling, I think. And also we won't win this game by casting a 5 mana 3/3. So let's see what happens. Okay, we start, which is very nice, and this end is also very nice. Yeah, we need a red mana. An aura spell, it's fine because even a green one will let us cast the Avenging Hunter on turn 3, and turn 2 land destruction and turn 3 dragon. It's very good, as the word already know. I reached the final of Paupergeddon with this kind of play, so Okay, let's see. No, we should go for this. Let's go. Of course. And they don't shuffle. Okay. Then number 2. Okay, let's try. Fine. To bottom, which is good. The Arbor Elf has the here of an elf to provide mana and have the road to kill people, and we actually use the road to deal 1 damage. Next turn we are gonna cast the Avenging Arter, I think. Yeah, very likely. Let's see what happened in the meantime. Oh, no third land, which is good. And let's put the dragon on the stack. Let's grab red mana. And this is a 2-turn clock on its own. Let's go. And they find I tied with Peer Through Depths, but they don't have another land, which is very good for us. And okay, so let's think it's true. If we go for Forge, it's they have another turn before they die. If we go for the Lost Well and cast Avenging Hunter, we attack for 5 this turn, and another 5, 10, 15, 18. No, the problem is, well, if we go for Lost Well and we play the Avenging Hunter now, we attack for 5, 6 this turn. They go to 13. Next turn we attack for 5, 10, 13. They are dead next turn, but they can survive if they tap us down. The upside is we are gonna see 2 more cards for a land destruction spell. And I think, but what if they have a snap? Because if they have a snap and we attack now, they snap the dragon, we deal 0 now. Next turn we play again the hunter, and so we trap them down for 5, 6 for with the attack from the Arbor Elf. They go to 13. Next turn they are not dead. Yeah, I think it's reasonable to go for Lost Well now. I don't need any of those. Okay, if I play Utopia Sprawl, it's 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay, I'm gonna attack like this. Okay, so next turn I win anyways. And let's see, opponent, can you kill me? Because if you do, because if you can, I'm dead. But if you don't, you are. And let's make a treasure. Okay. Yeah, I can die here, because if they find an island, I can die, and I can even die if they don't find an island. Maybe they have High Tide and Snap, they untap 2 lands and go for another High Tide, and yeah, everything can happen here. So let's see. But of course they need to have a pretty good hand, and they used 2 cantrips, sure, but those cantrips were to find lands, so maybe they weren't optimized. Let's see what happens. So I tied, string, it's the same as snap, and I think I could easily die here. Another high tide, yeah. And another, yeah. I think I'm actually very likely to die here. They have puppetry and 3 cards in hand. They have 2 puppetry. They had 2 puppetries. 1 has been cast. Okay. They need mana because I think they are gonna cast Flood of Recollection on Peer to Depths. Okay, so Peer to Depths into Ideas Unbound is probably doom for me. Let's see. Okay, so now they had the loop and we haven't been unlucky here. I think we drew well, but this is a very bad matchup. We needed a little bit more luck. Unfortunately, let's go to the next one. Welcome to match number 3. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, this end is a keep because we have mana, we have creatures, and we have ramp. I think it's a good end. So this is the Rakdos Madness deck, and remember when I said that with Ponza I reached the final of a Paupergeddon? Well, I lost that final, and it was against that deck. And since that day I have been cursed, and I've never won ever again against that deck. Let's see if the curse is broken. I don't think I need... Oh, well, another Wildling, it's not bad actually. Maybe I draw another one because then I start using creature. Okay, now I can cycle this one and guarantee a Sagu Wildling next turn, or I can go for a Malevolent Rumble and maybe find a land and keep the third Sagu Wildling in hand. I think it's better because I will, I don't mind spamming dragons that gain life. And as I said in the intro, an upside of playing this card main deck, it's not only it's fine because it flies over the Krark-Clan Shaman and because it finds lands, but also because gaining life it's very important against the burn decks, since the burn decks now doesn't use less creatures than in the past. They use more burn spells, so gaining life is actually better than before the cool dota ban, of course. Yeah, that's a very good Faithless Looting, but it's fine that they did nothing for the first 2 turns, so I can live with that. And now I'm gonna play my Wildling and see if this card is actually good enough. Okay, go dragon. They are gonna kill this one, I'm sure. Okay, this one is fine. And they cycle into a Madness spell, I think. Sneaky Snacker. So if they draw another card, they're gonna reanimate the Snacker. Okay. Okay, take it. And I think this whole course of action is fine because basically every dragon has gained me 6 life, and at the end of this chain of dragons I'm gonna cast a giant Hydra. No, maybe I'm gonna cast the Hydra this turn. Yeah, I think it's better because I wanna start attacking, and next turn I'm gonna play another Wildling and I put the Hydra on the spawn so that I can attack and then sacrifice the spawn to block. Yeah, take it. And when they attack, I sacrifice the creature, and the Hydra becomes a creature and I can block. I kill the Imp, I go to 11, and then I cast another Sagu Wildling. Tolarian Epicure, okay. Vampire's Kiss. Okay. Let's do that. And of course block the one that will not return from the graveyard, because I don't like zombies. And here I think I'm gonna attack because I have to win somehow. And I'm lethal next turn. And they don't even know because they don't know I have us. Oh yeah, maybe they do know because... Yeah, because I have the Krushok in the graveyard. Yeah. But they gain 3 life. Okay. I don't think I'm dead this turn. I could. They need to have 2 bolt. Which they might. Okay. If they attack with the flyers, they are dead. Okay, this is fine. Yeah, so I win. Oh no, I miscounted because yeah, no. Yeah, because they gain 3 life. Of course. 8. So the best thing is to attack with this one. Oh no, probably I should have cycled this one, yeah. Let's see if we can survive another turn. Okay, your turn. Tolarian Epicure, we are at 3. We are at 1. This is painful. Okay, we survive. So this is 9. Okay, there's no point in leaving the... Yeah, if we attack with everything, they have to double block, right? If I attack with everything, they block with the flyers, they take 5, I cast Avenging Hunter, and I have no, so maybe I just pump with a Krushok here, I just attack with the Hydra, I cast this one, I have 3 blockers, they are, yeah, but there's no point in leaving the creature back because they need to chump, so might as well let them chump, right? Yeah, I have not enough mana to scavenge and cast the Hunter. I think there's no way I can win this turn. And if I just attack with everything, they have to block. No, they can just jump here. They take 8. No, so the best thing to do is to not attack and play the Avenging Hunter, and next turn we win, yeah. Because it's... I don't think they can survive next turn. So this way we take less damage this turn. I keep it in hand for, I don't know. We are at 3 against a barn deck. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe the curse is broken. The curse is actually broken. It appears to be so. Oh no, like this. And maybe the curse is broken. Let's see. We for sure wanna play Wear the Storm. I don't think the Feral is good because it's a 5 mana 3/3 that dies to a bolt. And I think Breath Weapon is better. Do we want to play land destruction spells? Yeah, I think we do. Okay, because they don't have artifact lands anymore, so they have not indestructible lands, and they need mana to operate. Okay, keep. Let's see what happens. The F is gonna survive. I'm gonna play the Hydra for 2 because I have my car, because my curve is set up. Yeah, gonna do that. I'm not gonna play the mountain because I don't want to expose my lands to contaminate ground. I would rather lose a forest than my only mountain. If they don't play a land, I'm gonna Mwonvuli. Yeah, this is kind of... Yeah, I'm gonna destroy their land. And I'm not gonna trade 2 damage for 1 in this spot. Next turn I'm gonna go for the Chrysalis and attack with the Hydra. Okay. And next turn I'm gonna cast a giant Hydra on the Writhing Chrysalis. Yeah, maybe the Chrysalis. And let's see who wins the race. Yeah, this is good. But I also will block this, because I'm not gonna attack with the small Hydra next turn. Okay. I block like this, and do I wanna block this one? Go to 8. No, I don't think so. I need my Hydra to be big enough to kill in 2 swings, if possible. Okay. What if I go for Chrysalis and Hydra this turn? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have got 9 mana. This costs 2, 7 mana. So plus 5. So this is 6, 11. Yeah. This way I have more blockers, and they have 1 turn to do stuff, because next turn I'm gonna win. And I don't think I'm gonna attack with the Hydra. I know they can gain some life, but if I do, then I go to 7, and I'm dead to 2 bolts, and they have a number of ways to deal 1 damage. So the difference between 8 and 7 it's actually relevant, because if I go to 7, they can deal 1 damage with a land or a Voldaren Epicure, and then 2 bolts kills me. Faithless Looting, double bolt, okay. Yeah, this is very good, because I'm not sure if I'm gonna win this turn. Okay, 15, it's something. Okay, let's go. Yeah. Okay, this is good, because it increases the chance that we survive this turn. If I attack with everything, I can still cast the Sagu Wildling. 11, they have to chomp. So it turned out not attacking with the Hydra actually was bad. Yeah. And now I'm gonna attack like this and this, so they have to block. No, because they can just take this one. Yeah, like this. Okay, Dragon, let's go, do your magic. No, the stupid Hydra. The curds, this curds. is cursing me. I still think the land destruction spells are good, and especially on the play, so I'm gonna keep them. Let's go. This is a mulligan. This is a keep. And okay, so I go turn 1, growth, turn 2, sprawl, rumble, turn 3, creature. Yeah, there's no place for... I risk the flood. I need... No, I can't keep the land destruction here. Because if I start drawing lands, then I flood out and lose that way. I have Weather the Storm as an interaction spell, and I think I should just raise and use Weather the Storm to secure up my advantage. And as I said, the risk of flooding out, it's real with this deck. And I need a creature here, and I think the Hunter is the better one. Yeah. I know they can steal the initiative, but if they don't go for a creature now, I'm in a very good spot. Okay, do you have the Imp? Yeah. Okay. I think if I play the Hunter and they steal the initiative, and if they kill the Hunter, it's pretty bad. So maybe I should just play the Hydra to block. Next turn I'm gonna play the Hunter. Yeah, I think it's the better line. I could have played it as an enchantment, an aura, but that way it's just a 3/4, and I think I need a bigger threat. Ha! Okay, that's very, very bad. It's yeah. I need to go for it and maybe taking the Hunter was bad, but on the other hand, everything went the worst way possible. They had an haste, a flying creature turn 2, which is not a given, and they had a removal spell for my Hydra, which is not a given because I don't know. They play 2 copies, 3 copies. But if they don't kill the Hunter and I steal back the initiative and I go for a big Weather the Storm, yeah, of course. And as I said, I am cursed, so I cannot beat this deck. Okay. And you know what? I don't think I need to go on, because I made up my mind about this deck. I don't think it's powerful enough. I wouldn't recommend you playing this deck in a high-stake tournament. I think I've been a little bit unlucky, but at the same time, I drew what I needed to draw in the matches I faced, and it didn't work because I drew the Flyers versus Jund. It wasn't enough. I drew my land destruction spells against Tide. It wasn't enough. I drew my Sagu Wildling versus Madness. It wasn't enough. So I am lucky to have found the 3 matches I wanted to test with this deck, and maybe we should find another deck. Don't expect a grudge match because I'm done with this deck for now. If you have suggestions, let me know in the comment, because I'm searching for another deck to prepare. As always, don't subscribe to the channel, don't like the video for any reason, and if you liked see me being punched in the face, then tell everyone, and if you didn't, well, I don't give a